Hello, everyone. I hope you all doing well. Welcome to a Level Up SQL in Microsoft tutorial. Today, well, starting from the previous video, I have taught you about what is SQL, what is table in the SQL database, and then we did DDL, meaning data definition language, and how to create and modify the table by altering and then drop the table using both the graphic users and T-SQL. So, and then also I gave you 8 questions to practice what you to check yourself if you understand clearly of those topics. Okay, if you remember, we created 4 columns and then we keep adding columns after we created by modifying or alter. If you did the questions, the homework or the questions, you should be able to understand, and you don't have any um, questions on those. You should be able to understand clearly. Okay, so today's topic will be so how do we know which data type goes to when we create tables, right? So that's what we'll be learning. So what is column data types in the SQL Server? That's what I will be teaching you today. Okay, and then when to choose the right column data types. So because we will be learning the different type of data types that we can use, and after we understand these data types, we can be able to easily pick the right type of data types for the columns when we create table. And then how to implement which DDL, data definition language. I'll teach you how to implement column data types when we create table, and then we will do DML, so that we know. Of course, I'll teach you rules of inserting records or data or values based on the data type we select when we create the table, and then how we insert them. So we will do that together. Okay. So first, to start, I would have my laser pointer here. So and before jumping into creating database tables, we have to understand the different categories of data types. So I want you to focus on numeric data type and date or time data type, characters or string data type. For this one, if you understand this one is for universal, meaning these you can be using for this for native English or like American, British for English characters. But if you add N universal code, N meaning like Amharic language or Arabic, Greek, anything other than English, we will be using a universal code. So we add N and varchar and character. So this would be a universal code. I mean data type. And this one, don't focus on it, but later on when you advance, we can once you understand these, this can be it gets easier as you practicing on these. So, so for now, I want you to focus on these 3 categories, all right? Data type categories. So when we select, so like if you remember from the previous video, when I said when we actually work with Excel, the column A, column B, column C always comes right with it. We cannot change that. But in a database, we actually create the column names instead of A, and we determine what kind of value to be entered. So if it's entered, like for example, if we picking a numeric number, and then if it's numeric, we will go which numeric type. Okay. If it's data type, we will go which data type. I mean date time type. Okay. And if we pick characters or strings, we we want to know which also. These are categories, and these are the details, the list of numeric. Okay. So a numeric data type, when we see numeric data types, as you can see, these are, so if we selecting, okay, my column need to be numeric, right? Okay. So, and then you have a list of numeric type of data types. The only difference between these are the sizes. For example, bits, the lowest, meaning the lowest character or the lowest number it can hold is 0. And the highest number it can hold is 1. So to give you, if you are a little bit confused by now, here I'm just going to give you a little bit example. Let's say you have a teacups, okay, a teacup hold that can hold, let's say, um, let's say this will hold only, the maximum can hold, let's say 2.5 liter. Okay. So what we can say in this, if we want to pour a tea, okay, if we want to pour tea, we know the max can hold, which is 2.5 liter, right? The minimum can hold is 0 liter. Okay. Now you see the size between this. You can pour any liquid to this cup. Okay. What if we have a smaller cup, a tea, okay, that can hold only 0.2 liter. Okay. So this is a cup and this is also a cup, but the size is different, as you can see, right? Both of them are cup. Both of them can hold liquid, but maximum this one can hold 0.2 liter, and minimum is 0. Okay, so I want you to look at the same size. Okay, let's say right now I have um, um, one 1 liter, 1.2 liter liquid. Um, gosh, 1.2. Let's see. Let's say I have 1.2 liter liquid. Which one do I want to use? This one or this one? So 1 point is actually very close to, well, this one is too small and this one is closer. This one fits, right? So, or if you look at your clothes wearing, if you are a medium size, and would you wear large size or extra large? Because it doesn't fit, right? Even though it's clothes, and you want clothes to wear, but you want the fit size because it's good for space and it's actually efficient for you, right? So the same thing. So we want to pick the exact size, right? If it's small, a person is small, small size, it would be perfect if he or she pick a small size. If a person is medium, right? If the person is medium, it would be medium, right? And then if a person is large and or extra large, right? Like, so it's just the same clothes. It can be the same sweater, and you have different size. So I want you to look at that, okay? So so if it's a bit, when to know, we will practice. So okay, bit is 0 and 1. So we usually at work we usually pick this to indicate 0 means inactive, or this one is active. And then we pick any tiny int. The lowest would be 0, and then the maximum would be the highest would be 255. So for example, a person, a human, usually age, right? For age we can pick, because the human do not really live more than what's 100 or 200, 255. It's very, very rare. So for age, I can put a tiny int for age, because that can fit the size, right? Because I don't see less than, most of the time I see less than 255, so 100, right? So it's very rare. So I'll pick that. So just, I'm just giving you an example. So look at the size. A small int will contain from a negative 32,000 to positive 32,000. So you can use this to anything. An integer to from a negative 2 billion to positive 2 billion. So you get the idea, okay? So decimal, if you don't want, these are the whole numbers. You don't see any decimal. So if you're looking for decimal, you can have a decimal and floats, and these are actually gets a bunch of decimal points. You can do that, but make sure once you identify, okay, is it number, is it a date time, or is it a character that I need to pick for columns that I'm creating, and then if it's number, which section that I need to use, right? So you get to pick. If it's number, you have this list. You can take a screenshot out of this, and then you can use it as cheat sheet, or online. There are multiple resources online that you can pick. Okay. Next will be character. Okay. If our column is character, and you get to see here character and the character string, the description will be fixed with, and it can allow you up to 8,000 characters to write. Okay. And varchar, this is a little bit different. These and this are the same. As you can see, they can hold up to 8,000 characters. But the only difference is, like, remember, when you have, let's say, a full dress that has a plastic on your waist, okay? Or a trouser has elastic waist, versus it doesn't have any waist, plastic on your waist. So this will be a trouser with your plastic waist, and this doesn't have a plastic waist. So this can auto shrink. Let's say if you are medium size and if you want to wear the smaller, you can stretch it, because the plastic is stretchable, right, on your waist. So you can do that. Or if you are a medium size, if you are medium size, you can wear a large size, because the auto, it can shrink, right? It can shrink. So so this can shrink. This is fixed. So you have to either wear belt or no belt. So you get to idea. So if you know, let's say, if I know, let's say I'm creating a column to identify gender, right? And then I want either F, okay, or my F, or M, okay. Let's say if I want to do, so this I know it's only one character that would be entering in that column. So I'll be using this because it's already fixed. But let's say when I write first name here, so some first name it can take, let's say, Abil can take 5, or David, it can take 5 to 6 characters, or others like Ethiopia will take a little bit words, or um, Emmanuel, right? Emmanuel take a lot of characters. So some first name are 5 characters long, and some are up to 10 characters, especially um, foreign names are pretty much really long. So if you don't know that much, like there's no fix like either female or male, just one character. If you don't know stuff like that, if you don't know the value, one be like shorter, one would be longer. You can just study the max of that character, or you can use this because it's auto shrink, right? Because the the way it's designed, it can auto shrink. I would say pick this, and maximum it can take up to 1 billion character text. If you have any description column, you can use this, and so this is pretty much like where you identify. But don't worry about it. I will show you how to do it, and we will go through and practice. So make sure hang in there. Don't get confused yet. Okay. So when we pick dates, if we decided to pick dates, okay, from date, which date are we looking for? For example, if you're creating an employee table, that would be the company will actually put the date of the hire date. Make sure you know which the right time, right? This would be the beneficial for that column. Why? Because you want to do just the year, the month, and the date, instead of having the hours, the minutes, and the second. Because that's when you hire somebody, you just know what date you start. But in the hospital, if you work in the hospital, if the child is born, right, you want to document every little information, right? So the child is born on this year, on this month, on this date, on this hour, on this minutes, on this second. You can do that as well. So hopefully you get the idea. Okay. All right. Next. Okay. So next will be once we pick the data types for each column, and now we have to um, learn the rule of inserting. So let's come back to that, I guess. We can do one at a time so that you don't get really confused. So this would be when we're creating a table, right? Remember, I was telling you earlier, okay, I pick account customers, right? And then number, first name, we will work on that. But as you can see, integer. So this column name, I need to only hold integer. So I showed to you earlier, right? The integer, once once the column is decided, number, and then from number, and then the person actually pick integer here. Okay, so that's why you see integer, and then first name varchar. So some first names are shorter and some are longer, but we want the maximum to hold 12. Okay, 12, and then do it varchar, so it can auto shrink, right? Last name is pretty much like that, and marital status varchar 8, and account status, and then date. As you can see, when the person decided to date, which date, you pick just date so that he or she will, the developer will know which date format. Okay. So, and the other rules that you need, I guess we can talk about it. So, the rules of inserting values based on the data type we choose for columns when creating a table, right? So, if you see, if you pick numbers, if the column needs to be to be number, and you have to select which from the number category, which of the numeric value that you want to pick. So is it integer? Is it decimal? And actually, SQL Server has money. So if you have salary column, you can pick money or you can pick decimal, whichever you want to, and floats long. So when you insert value after you creating, you don't have quotation under it. It will be number. And then the second category is character or string. Okay. So which type you selected, the varchar or character, car, or so if you do that, once you pick, but the values would need to be, for example, this is Ethiopia, but I put under the quotation around it. If you pick a date or date time, make sure you select which one. Is it date? Is it year, date, time, and then the value that make sure you put the format, like which format. So rules, inserting values and symbols, right? So when you create table, I'm sure you learned it last previous video, but I want to do it anyway. So make sure you create and then you open parenthesis and then you fill the column names and then we will define this. Okay. All right, let's go. Um, uh, let's do um, live demo. All right. So first, make sure we are in the right database. So make sure this is matching where you want to be. So I want to create my table here in this level up. Okay. So I want to create, okay, I want to create table, create table. It's DDL, right? So I want to name it customers. Is it custom customers? Okay. And then I will do open and close parenthesis. Okay. Here is, I want to do it actually. I'll put um the the parenthesis. Okay. So in between, this is where I will list my um this is where I'll be listing my columns. Let's say customers, right? What I need, what kind of information the business analyst or your manager or your customer will tell you when you are a developer. They will tell you the column list that they need. So you don't have to worry about it. But it's good to practice, right? To start analyzing, practice the analyzing work. Okay, customer. What information do we need from customer, right? If it's employee table or you have to create tables for employee, what kind of information do you want to that table to hold of the employee information, right? So it's different. So make sure you practice. So for example, customer ID, each customer, I want them to be identified uniquely, right? So ID, customer ID. So I want this to be number, integer, all right? And then I want to do comma. I'm ready to create the next column. And then first name. Okay. Don't do space when you create table. If you want a space, you can do this, or you can just leave this and then create the first um, um, letter of each, make it a capital letter of the first. So you see first and then name, so that it will be easier. It is very common among the developers. Okay. And so for now, but if you want a space, you can do that. Um, because varchar, varchar, because I don't know exactly how many this will be variable because some first name is shorter, some first names are very longer. So I would just like, okay, I want to do 15, and then I'll say comma, I'm done. And now the next one will be, the next column will be last name. And again, varchar. So I can do 16 if I wanted to. And I want to do gender. So gender, right? Because I want gender to be F or M, just one. So I want to do character or car and one character only to be entered per on each. Okay. Then I want to do age. So age, like we talked about earlier. So age for numeric, age is, I can put tiny ends because it's 255. Our maximum can 255. So from 0 to 255, right? So I can do tiny ends, tiny ends. Okay, and then comma. What about, okay, customer name, last name. Um, what about customer um, purchase? Yeah, purchase. Purchase. Oof. Purchase item. Item purchase. Item purchase. Item. Jesus. Item purchase. So I can do many, or decimal, but because, and then I can do like, okay, 12 digits, so three or two decimal points. I can do that if I wanted to. I can do this, so it should be fine. But money, if it's many, let's say, you know what? Let's do just salary, easy, do to make it easy. Salary. So, oh my goodness. Salary, money. So it's automatically will give you two decimal points. Okay. That's what I like about the about my Microsoft SQL. So it gives you, sometimes it gives you notes. It knows. So we have integer, purchase, varchar, car, tiny int, money, and then let's say date of birth, right? Date of birth or birth dates. Birth dates. So this would be, I just want to do dates. Birth dates for of a customer, not a hospital. So I'm not talking about the hospital. So I just do dates. I can do date time, so it gives me this format. But if I pick date, this will be, so I have to enter the years first, and then the month, and then the date. This is the format that I will be picking. Okay. Okay. So I am done. So when at the last column, you don't put comma. So as you can see, customer ID, integer or int in short, first name, last name, gender, okay, uh, tiny ints and everything. So make sure I select everything, okay, and then execute. So it shows me that it did create, okay, it did create table. Actually, let's see. So I can see two-way. One, select everything from customers, customers. Okay, so customer ID, first name, last name, gender, age, salary, and date of birth. If I don't have this, right, let's say I created this 5 years ago. How do I can see? I can do user graphic interface by refreshing the database, right? And then I will come customers. So you have to be careful your spellings, because so here you have customer and also you have customers. What I have created is customers. Okay, so you can also quickly identify by clicking the table and then expand the columns. So account, first name, this is not what we're looking for. So definitely it's a different one. So expand this table. I can shrink this table. Okay, customers, this is what I am interested. And as you can see, customer ID, it's integer, first name, last name, gender, age. So you have it. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is how you select, right? I got one type, two, three types of numeric value that I enter. I mean, picked. Um, so varchar character, and then dates. Okay. You can keep add after, like on you whenever you have a practice questions, or questions for you to practice. You can do, after you understand this, you can create a multiple whatever you like by looking at, you can take screenshot of it if you want to make sure, like, you pick some of the columns, and then make sure you enter values for it, and characters, the strings, and then also for numbers. So you can do that as well. You are free to do that. Okay, now we picked, right? So so we can do, there's rules, right? So we talked about there is rules. If you pick integer, like from numeric, there's no, when you insert values or data, you don't put any quotation. But if you pick any data types from a string categories and the data categories, you always have to put the quotation under it. Okay, under it. So make sure. So when inserting, we're gonna do DML, right? DMLs are, what are they? Inserts, data manipulation language, right? Updates, deletes, and truncate, right? These are, so we will perform these two. So we will first perform insert a multiple way. So we can insert a single row, and also we can insert multiple row. Okay. So first, when we insert, we're gonna start by saying insert into, and then customers. Okay. Then values, and then we open, close parenthesis. Okay. After values, we open. So first, I always want to see, either like here, I do open it this way, or I select this, and then I look up my column lines and insert them accordingly. Okay. When I have to enter all of the values. Why? Because by default, like I talked about from the in the last the previous video, by default the query engine will read, by default, read from left to right. Okay, if you're not specifying any columns. If you do specify columns, which we will do that later here in partial insertion or partial um, inserting, I'll show you. Okay, but for now, we're gonna start from ID, customer ID one, first name. Okay, for first name, I need a quotation. Okay, so here I want to do Isabel. Isabel, first name. Second, Jacob. Jacob. Okay. Um, Gender, of course. Gender is character, so it need to be quotation. Okay. she's a female. And the age is tiny int, which is a numeric category. So no quotation, 23. Okay. And salary, also part of numeric, no quotation. So 500. And date of birth or birth dates, it is dates. You remember when we insert, it has its own format. Dates is first year and then a month and then a date. Okay, so make sure you're not putting month, the date, you cannot mix it around. So it needs to be in quotation also. It needs to be, okay, 2024, right? And then the month is 09, and then the date is 15. See what I did? Year, 4-digit year, 2-digit month, and 2 digits dates. So, and it says one row affected. Okay, no error. So I want to select, as you can see, Isabel, Jacob, female. Okay, and even though I put backslash, it put it in this format, which, as you can see, right? Okay, and then now we want to do, so to insert one row, as you can see, by you just open close parenthesis, and then you do inside, it goes from column the next in one row. This is one row, and then it inserts each value as I give it comma. Okay, what if I want to insert multiple rows, like rows this way, and to provide values or records or data to this, right? So we can do using a single statements to insert a single row. And now we're going to use a single statement to insert multiple rows. Okay, so now insert into customers. Okay, and then values, and then I open close. This considered to be the one parenthesis would be um, one row. If I want to continue, I have to put comma, and then I usually do align them on top of one another. So I will, this would be another row. Then I will add comma, and then this would be another row, and then comma, and I will do another row. As you can see, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And then with this total, total 5 rows by the time when I insert these 4. Okay. So what I will do, 2, the second row will be 2. The second first name will be comma. And then I will write Sarah. Okay. Last name Jacob. Actually, Eyob. Okay. Gender female. Okay. Age 34. Salary 700. Remember, I put a whole number 500. I did not put any decimal because I select money or salary money. Look, it's automatically put 0.0, right? 2 decimal points after, yeah, 2 digits after the decimal. Okay, date of birth or birth date, 2025, um, 08, 25. Okay, and I put comma. So I'm going to expand this parenthesis. The third one, comma. Okay, the second one, Araya, Araya, Sisu, and he is a male. Okay, and he is 30 years old, and his salary is 600. His birthday is on 2022. I'm just making up, okay? Um, 02, 23. Okay. Number 4, um, customer number 4. His name is Mohammed. Mohammed Ali, his last name, and he is a male. He is 28 years old, and he makes 900, and he was born. I know the age and not the date of birth doesn't match, but it's okay, right? 20, 21, 01, 01. So make sure comma is there. So I'm going on the last one. So 5. Um, mm, last one. Um, okay. Last one would be Hannah. Hannah. David. Okay. She is female and she is 26 years old. She makes 400 and she was born 2019, 04 and 23. So as you can see, you can enter, right? You can enter one row, and I'm about to enter 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And you can do more, but at the end, make sure you don't put any comma, because that's how the query engine knows that this is the last one. Okay, this is the last step. So 4 rows affected. So what are we going to do? Select and execute. As you can see, right, it would automatically put dash instead of the backslash. So this would be a good example, inserting using a single statement, inserting one row, and using a single statement. Single statement means this, and then inserting multiple rows at once. Now we want to do partial. So partial inserting. So partial insertion would be, let's say, because we didn't put any value in here, so we have to enter from every record, right? For example, um, so the business analyst or the data analyst did not give us any, um, so not full information, right? Let's say the next person will be given to us to insert names. However, the gender is missing, and salaries missing, or date of hire is missing. You know, sometimes when you fill applications, some of them are like optionals and you skip them, and some of them are required, but some of them are optionals. So the optionals you usually skip them, right? When you skip on an application, this is what happened. It gets skipped in the back. Okay, because database usually plugged into a software or application to whenever it takes your information, right? Whenever you put, if anything, you put information from a website, from app, just so you know, it's actually the database. This database is actually plugged in. you will don't get overwhelmed, but you will learn that later as you get advanced. So for now, you are actually manually entering records or data. Okay. So what if so let's say this table is optional. Okay. So we're going to enter partial. So we're going to enter, um, let's say a new, right? Insert so the one we will be entering will be we will insert 2 rows, and the gender is missing, salary is missing, and we can do age is missing as well. I mean, date of birth is missing. Okay, customer. Okay, so if you're not entering all of the values for all the columns, you have to specify the columns. Okay, so meaning you have to open and close parentheses. So this means that the query engine knows that you don't have all the records to enter for all columns. So you're gonna specify here, okay, customers, right? You're gonna specify um, customers. What are you doing? Oh, sometimes it's just a screen because we are not done. Um, what are you? Okay. Sometimes it makes sense. It screams because we didn't. It's just sometimes I don't know why it's doing that anyway. Make sure you put all of the records, and then make sure and then check your syntax. But this is too early for them to um, give error notification. Okay, so first I want to insert customer ID, comma, and I have value for first name. So the next will be first first name, and then I will have last name, last name. What else do I have? And I will miss gender, salary. Okay. And salary. Okay. Salary. Okay. So this means I have value. So I will do values always, and I will open the first um, row, and then I'm going to enter 2 rows. So I prepare this row 1, row 2 first. I'll work on outside, and then before I work on inside. So as you can see, so we'll be providing only the query engine is expecting to provide customer number. The first input will be customer. The second will be first name. The third will be last name, and then salary. Okay. So customer, it's integer 1. Okay. The second will be cal, cal. Okay. First name, last name, um, Bini. Okay. Comma. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And salary. Salaries is money. So let's say 800. Okay. This won't be 1. This would be 6. And then the seventh one will be okay. The second one will be naughty. Okay. Naughty. Bush, last name, and his salary is 900. So I'm not putting any comma because I only want to insert. So as you can see, The difference, if you providing all information to all of these columns, you don't have to specify. Unless if you want, you can list all of the lists if you want to, but you have that option in a Microsoft SQL Server. But if you are entering partial, right, you have to specify so that the query does know which records or which data goes to which column. Okay, now I'm going to copy this, highlight this and execute. 2 rows affected. So I'm going to be checking, select everything from customers, right? Show me. As you can see, I didn't provide by default, because unless if you say not no, by default, as you can see, no, Microsoft put those no. Okay. All right. So I have this. So now you learn how to full provide information to a full columns in the table, or you can select partial, because sometimes when it's optional, you don't have that. Okay, now you learn inserts, right? Now next would be updates. Okay, let's say later on we need to update this to be a female. Qal bini, okay, is we find out it's a female. All right, we want to update that. So when we update, we want to start updates. So we'll start pink. Okay, updates, and then we're just gonna say customers. Okay, and then we do sets. So we want to set the new value of which column? Gender equals, I will not, because you guys are new, I will not put values right away. If you don't, before putting a filter, okay? Filter means where, okay? So which row? I want to do customer ID 6. Okay, I want to tell the query engine. So you have to select customer. The one I want to update is customer ID 6. Okay, customer ID equals 6. And then I will come here and put the value. Make sure if you don't do that, you will destroy the company's reputation, okay? Because it will update the entire gender to be female. That's the last thing you want to do, because you will lose your job right away for not knowing, right? So make sure you have to be careful when you do updates. So always, I usually do, before I actually do, I will do updates. Here is what I write. I write my update customer or the table name, and then I put set, and then I do filter. Okay, so make sure, and then I do the last thing. What I will do is this. Okay, so it is no, but now we find out that Gal is a female. So she's a female. So row 6, okay, and then I can select and do exact the same. Okay, so it's showing me 1 row effect. Say, let's see. Okay, now Gal is female. From null is update. What about I want to update these two at the same time? Okay, so updating multiple columns at the same time. Okay, so what I want to do, again, update customers. A good practice, sets where, again, customer ID equals 6. So the value usually given to you by business analyst or your manager, whoever, they will give you the list. Okay. So you don't have to worry about where to get the record, but they will tell you, okay, hey, we found the so-and-so value for this record. So please update that. They will give it to you. So you don't have to worry about where to get the update. So they will send you. Okay, sets. I want to do age equals 30. Okay, and then whenever I want to update on multiple columns, what I will do, comma, and then I will do birth dates. Birth dates equals, as you can see, okay, if you have like a bunch, you can do this. Okay, you can do this. Age, and then I can do 2020, and month will be 02, and then date will be 13. So I can do this, okay, to help you. Okay, to help you, I can do this if you want to. Or if you think you are good, you can do this as well. You can do this or until you get comfortable. Okay, so I like to do actually multiple like that. When I have to do multiple or more than one, I do this. But it's up to you. Once you feel confident, it doesn't matter. Okay, select. So just take a look. Age is null and birth date is null for row 6 for gal. Okay, one row is affected. Let's see. So as you can see, gal now is providing a whole information. I can do one more for this one. Okay, let's say I got information. So updates, customers, sets, where, okay, customer ID equals 7. And then if I wanted to, I can add more filter and write first name, name equals Nati, right? So if the customer ID equals 7 and his first name equals Nati, do this, update the following. So age equals, let's see, I don't want to confuse you. The order doesn't matter when you update, but gender equals male, okay, comma. I usually want to do it equal, okay. Mm, age equals 26 and birth dates equals, as you can see, 2029 or 1 15. Okay, so as you can see, it got a bit complicated, right? So if you want to, you can do this, right? Multiple. If you think this is too overwhelmed, you can just, we will come back to this. So age, so we can do this. So 1, 2, 3, you are updating 3 columns. First, remember Natty Bush, for gender, age, and date of birth is no. So 1 row is affected. Okay, let's see. Select everything from customers. Now, Natty always updates. Updated. Okay. All right. So next we want to delete single 1 row at a time, or we also want to delete multiple rows. Okay. So let's say I don't want Araya, this row, to be in this table. We don't want it anymore, right? So make sure when you do update and delete, always have the filter where, right? If where customer ID equals 7, right? Exactly knows where. So very careful. If you don't put the filter, which the where clause to filter it, it will delete the entire. So make sure you pay attention when you make this statements, okay? So when we delete, we can delete 1 row, we can delete multiple rows, okay? So delete from customers. All right. And here, where customer ID equals 3. We said we do not want this, right? Okay. So remember, Araya will be gone. 1 row affected. We'll see. So row number 3, as you see, Araya is gone. All right. What if I want to delete multiple rows at the same time? Okay. Again, the same thing. Delete from customers where. So I want to delete, let's say I want to delete 4, 6. I want to delete 2, 5, maybe 7. Okay. Customer, where customer ID in. Okay. I will use in function and then parentheses inside. Okay. For now, I just want to let you know that you can delete 1 rows. You can delete multiple rows at the same time. You can update 1 row, or you can update multiple rows at the same time. Okay. Okay. So I want to delete 2. All right. In parentheses, I'll put 2, comma. I want to, did I say, I don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe 5. Okay. I can delete 5. And then I can delete 7. Okay. I can delete 7. So delete from customers where customer ID in, right? Customer ID is 2, 5, and 7. All right. Yeah, I want you to focus on you can delete multiple rows. Okay, for now. All right, as you can see, 1, 4, 6. All right. Okay, what if I want to delete everything from without filter? What if I want to um, and delete that? So I can say, well, if I'm removing all data, all data, so records from the table, or I just have to say truncate table. Okay, because you're talking about millions of billions of records. If the table need to be empty, I just have to write this statement instead of doing deletes. Okay, so truncate table and customers actually. Make sure the spelling is correct. All right. And then I just have to, we can now find customers. So make sure spelling the customers. All right. Okay. So as you can see, all records are gone. Okay. Truncate will truncate everything, just like when you move out of your apartments, right? Or move out of your old house. You just have to clean everything. You sold your old house, right? So you have to clean everything, move everything, every item in that house, um, and then clean it and then prepare it for the person to move in or move out of apartments, right? Take all your stuffs. That's what you do. And then of course DDL, truncate is DML. So for DDL, all we can do is just, if we're not using that table anymore, we can do DDL. All right. So, and invalid object name um, called customers. So you'll receive this kind of error in two ways. When you make mistakes, spelling errors, or when actually the table is no longer in there. So it's showing in here. Here is what we can do because we dropped it using T-SQL. So what I will do and here is make sure that I have the software is updated, right? Refresh. Okay. Customers is gone. This is a customer, not a customers. So this is different account number as you remember. So, so as you can see, hopefully, we did live demo choosing data type and inserting rule. So as a summary, what is column data type in the SQL? So you learn in this lesson. So make sure what are data types in the SQL server. Um, um, okay. So when to choose the right column. Um, so you learn when to choose the right column data type based on your project or the project you receive when you create the table, actually. Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. Okay. And then you learn about DDL, how to implement them, each column data type, and then you learn the rules of DML, how to insert the values, updates, insert, update, and delete, and also you learn about truncate. So my question for you to practice here. So should we know about the column data types? Why? If so, answer the second question. What are the categories of column data types? I want you to focus on the top three, but you are welcome to, if you have time, you're welcome to study the other ones. Write different data types of numeric data types. Write different data types of strings and also date data types. So knowing these will help you a lot, the lists, the different lists, right? And or have that cheat sheet for you so that you know right away. Because we're going to do more often. We will be creating tables as we go. You'll learn a lot, okay? So the another homework or practice question for you to practice will be create database table and implement at least two columns that contains numeric data types, two columns containing string data types, and two columns that contains date data type. You are welcome to add more, um, just for you to practice. Insert data after you create this table. Insert data into the table you just created. So talking about this, okay? And then update data, delete data. After you insert, update, just like I showed to you, delete data, truncate data from the table, and you can drop it or whatever you want to do with it. But make sure you practice all of this to help you check that you understood the today's lesson. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Again, hopefully we get to see you next time. Bye.